Welcome, everybody. It's Mary McMichael from the Life Warriors podcast and my friend Teresa. She's here with us. Today, we're so excited to provide you or to talk about fur babies, whether it be cats, dogs, those little things of love that are in our life that, can make the difference of life and death. And I know that sounds exaggerated, but I can tell you after losing my Chuck, if it wasn't for my dogs on top of my family and friends, I don't know where I'd be right now. So, what do you think, Teresa?
Well, I'm in animal rescue and I have taken it to the next level according to a lot of people, including my husband. I have two rescue huskies. I have seven rescue cats inside. I have two colonies outside, one with 12 and one with six. And I've trapped all the cats outside. I've neutered them, spayed them, vetted them, and they have a good home. They have heated cat houses. Some of them stay in the garage during the winter time. So I honestly think rescue is the best breed. And I think it's BS that people say, oh, I want a purebred. Both my huskies are purebred. Your dogs are purebred. Right now they're killing healthy, amazing animals. And once you look at their heart, you can't tell what breed they are. They're just loving and kind.
Yes, they're unconditional love.
Yep.
Unconditional love. And I can go back to my dog Buddy, Boudreaux, because we bought him when we were in Louisiana and when
Oh.
we lived in Lake Charles in 1990. And I just needed something to take care of because I left, Dallas Fort Worth and now I'm in a new state. And so I found a Pekingese. It was a mix. He's 25 pounds. He was a pretty good sized dog, but that dog saved my life. That story's in my book, literally,
Hmm.
physically
Yep.
saved my life. Who would have thought that such a little bitty fur dog could step up to the plate and assault a person that was attacking me in my own apartment?
Hmm.
Huge. But then my Zen dog Rainey, who's also in my book, she was severely abused, and she's the one that got me walking again. And then my dog Wiley, after my divorce in 2009, Wiley, man, I had him for 10 years, and we saw the world, and there were dark times in that world where I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. And then I look at my dog's beautiful chocolate brown eyes and be like, if I do this, then who's going to take care of my dog? And it pulled me
Hmm.
out of it. So huge dogs, cats. I've never really had a cat. I'm just not a cat person. I'm a dog person. But I know a lot of people that are cat people like you. Doesn't matter. You find your little niche and you stick to it, and it's all good.
Well, Mary's coming to visit me out here in Sacramento in a couple weeks, hopefully, and she's going to become a cat person. Maybe not primarily, but she's going to become a cat person because I have a couple cats that'll be like, "Hi, how are you? Oh, you're new. Hi, I'm Chloe. Hi, I'm
See,
Jethro. Hi, I'm Jesse. Hi, hi. Oh, can we
I
love?"
the cats that I've been around are so independent and like you can touch me maybe kind of deal and snobby, and that's why it turned me off. Like when we lived in Corpus, we had this cat, this like a gray tabby. It had like stripes and he had mint green eyes, and he would come around. He had a little bobtail, so we called him Bob. But when he finally got around to us where we could pet him and touch him, it turned out Bob was Bobby. She was a
I was going
girl.
to say Bob was
But it was a
Bobina or
dump
something.
cat, and we fed it. But that's really the only cat that I've ever been around that had some personality that I didn't feel like I was invading their space by wanting to pet them. You know what I mean?
I sure do. I have Jethro. He's a rescue. He's my second um, most recent cat. He's 22 pounds, long hair, black and white, and he has this little teeny meow, and he's so sweet. Like he thinks he's small and he just has to be on me all the time because he's just so loving. And he was found at a baseball field eating dirt because he was hungry. He was
Oh,
emaciated.
it's
So my
awful.
friend grabbed him, put him on Facebook and said, "Hey, here's this cat. I'll get it neutered, spayed, whatever." And I said, "Put him in a carrier." She says, "What?" I said, I'm stupid for big black and white cats. And I was like, put him in a
And don't they
carrier.
say black? cats are hard to get adopted out because they're
Very
black.
much so. Very much so. And people are very cruel to them because they think they have, witches or whatever. I have one inside here. His name is Jesse. He terrorizes my huskies sometimes, so I have to, put an end to that. I mean, he's 11 pounds and one of my huskies is 100 something, but he terrorizes him, and he thinks he's all that. But and then I have two outside. Mama, remember I told you I had those foster kittens. Mama's
Yeah.
outside,
Yeah.
she's a teenager. And then I have another one that I'm trying to grab. His name is Salem. He's not feeling well, he's not doing too well, so I want to grab him and get him to the vet. But yeah, it's true, and people are cruel to them, especially during, fireworks season or
Oh, yeah.
Halloween. Yeah,
My
yeah,
dog Wiley, I used to have to put a thunder shirt on him, and
yeah,
he could tell us the weather long before the weather got to us because we'd be like, "Okay, where's Wiley?" And we'd find him in a closet or something, just sitting there
yeah,
shaking, you know. And then I bought that
yeah.
thunder shirt, and I'm telling you, those things, if you get the thunder shirt brand, it made all the difference for him. Just wrapped them all up, and he
Hmm.
handled it much better instead of just popping a bunch of drugs in him.
Well, I got two calming collars, one really pretty one that is handmade, this little company with all these herbs and things in it for Hachi, the big one. Another collar, calming chews, earmuffs, which was absolutely adorable if you can picture that on a husky. And he still was shaking, whining, and he ended up like peeing on himself twice because he was just so upset. The
Oh.
fireworks were just stupid this year. And, I have to say my husband thought I was absolutely ridiculous because two doors down they had gone to Reno and bought the illegal ones, which are ridiculously loud, ridiculously crazy. And I just went out there and I started, cursing at the top of my lungs what morons they were.
Did
Um,
somebody have a video camera? Look at our crazy Karen neighbor.
I
The
bet,
cat
I
woman,
bet,
the cat woman down the street.
I bet they do, but it rescue's hard. I mean, I want to thank you for rescuing your dogs, but I'm at the first step, finding them on the street and getting them neutered and spayed and vetted and
The
socialized and
fostering.
hopefully,
Mhm.
yes, and hopefully adopted. And, especially where cats are concerned, people, oh, I'm taking care of this cat because I'm feeding it. Well, you're making it healthier, which means it's going to reproduce sooner. So why don't you contact me the second you want to feed this cat
Yeah.
and let's get it neutered or spayed? And somebody contacted me yesterday and I just don't have room. They have a teenager, looks like she's ready to burst. And, I just don't have room. People just don't have room in the rescues right now. And people, if you're feeding a cat, please do not put a can down. Put it on a paper plate or a lid or something because they can cut their tongue on the cans and then they can't eat. And another
Oh,
thing, please don't put the food down on the ground because they have to lap it up and it cuts their tongue. It makes their tongue, like rash on their tongue. So just two things, if you would please not do that, please.
my friend she was our neighbor when we moved in here in 2018, Shauna Gibson. She has a business of Shaw's Pets. And
Mm,
she like will do boarding, and my older sister works for her and stays at people's houses to take care of their dogs
mhm.
because I mean, we are pet people and we don't want to leave.
Yep.
I mean, I leave my TV on for my animals. I leave music on for them, and it's
I have
important to me.
cameras. I have cameras on the floor. So, like if we're
Absolutely.
out somewhere, I'll say, honey, check the boys, check the babies. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I always have to figure in how much it's going to cost. I have to put the dogs in doggy daycare or camp, and then I have to pay for somebody to come in and feed the cats. Now, normally you wouldn't have somebody come in to feed the cats for a couple days, but because some of the cats inside, are little have some issues, I want to make sure
Boiled.
they're yeah, I didn't want to say that, but you're right. It just makes me feel better, that they're being watched, but it's expensive. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
And right now, as I said, one of the other podcasts, people are having to decide, do I take my dog to the vet or do I take it to the shelter? That people are taking very healthy, wonderful animals to the shelter because they can't afford it. And they live in this magic world, this reality that is not real, because they think, oh, well, this is a good dog. Somebody will adopt it. They're all good dogs. And they're killing them right now. Right now, they're killing them. Somewhere in the country, wonderful dogs are being killed. And, we have this wonderful word called euthanasia. No, they're murdering animals. Let's just call it what it is. And it's because of space. It's for no other reason.
Yeah, it's crazy. Isn't it crazy how, like, during COVID, how we emptied the shelters because
Well, we
people
emptied the
needed.
shelters, but then nobody had a plan in place for when they went back to work. So then they came home the first day after work and the couch was destroyed or the door jamb was eaten
Yeah.
up. And then it got worse. I don't know if you paid attention, but then those same cute little puppies that they got and they had all this time ended up back in the shelter because first off, people they don't research breeds. Like your breed, for example. Do not take that dog out in the heat, please.
Oh
Please.
yeah.
You
Neither the
know,
Staffy or the Frenchie. No.
Yep, any of the Pekingese,
Short
any of
muzzle.
those.
Hmm.
Yep. And like my dogs are pack animals. They follow me from room to room to room. I cannot go to the back. The dogs. I
Oh,
cannot go to the
Fred
bathroom.
Darwin does that. I can't poop by myself.
Yeah, I can't either. And they're high energy. They're very high energy,
Well, they're
and they're
herding
very,
dogs,
huh?
aren't they? Are they herding dogs?
No, no, they're
They're
working
not.
dogs. They're
Oh, just
working
working
dogs.
dogs.
They're sled dogs, and they're
Oh,
pack
right, right, right,
animals.
right.
Right, they're pack animals, so they have to be not only together with each other. Okay, true story. I told you about the whole TPLO, which is the knee replacement, basically in dogs. I had one in December, one in May, and one in October, so 9 months, three. And I had to take Akira. I had this brilliant idea. Let's take Akira and not take Hachi. So Hachi at the time, I was putting them in the laundry room. Nice, comfortable, cool. He destroyed the laundry room. Like went absolutely batshit crazy.
Like those videos
Because
where people come in and there's flour everywhere. It's like,
yeah,
oh my
he
God.
was a raving lunatic. So now whenever I would, I thought it would work. I'm like, let me just run her up to the vet real quick and we're good. I thought him seeing her go in without him would be worse, but oh no, he was fine. He's like, okay, we left her here. We're going back to get her. We're good. And so they're very attached to each other. Um, and they're attached to us and they're very vocal. A lot of people just,
Oh yeah, Sasha was ah rah 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 rah, because she was part husky. She was
mm,
yellow lab husky mix, and people would be like, ask Chuck, what kind of dog is that? Because she had the markings like a husky, but they were orange and white
ooh,
with
ooh,
light blue
pretty,
eyes and a pink nose. And people would be like, what kind
nice.
of dog is that? And he'd be like, she's a rare blonde Siberian husky, but she was just a yellow lab husky mix. But he
Yeah,
always, would do that kind of stuff. But yeah, very
right.
vocal for sure.
Yes, very vocal and very loving and again, a lot of people do not research the breeds, and then they bring them inside. They're very cute, and then the first time they pee on the floor or they chew your shoe, out they go outside, and that's where they
You got
live
to teach them
24/7.
just like little kids.
Right, but then the answer is to put them outside and leave them out there 24/7.
No, man, you shouldn't even
And
have an animal if you're going to do
no,
that.
no, I completely agree. I have a friend, and our dynamics of our friendship changed because of this situation. She called me one day, and I don't know why she told me this, but her son had forgot to give his outside dog, because they did the same thing, they kicked it outside, forgot to give him water. And remember, I told you a couple years ago we had those triple digits on
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
those days, and he found the dog dying and rushed it to the vet, and unfortunately it died. Now why she told me this story I don't know, because now I can't even look him in the eye, because I just think that's horrible that they don't ask for much: food, water, shelter, keep me safe. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah, the other thing also besides thinking about the breed itself is you have to consider personalities. Because, just like humans, we're going to butt heads sometimes. And
Mhm.
we had Violet, she was a pit bull, cattle dog mix,
Oh, okay.
medium-sized dog. And we had her when we lost Rainey. So we had her and we still had Boo Boo was a Boston Terrier and then Darwin and Freddie. And I got Layla, who was a black staffy who'd been
Mm-hmm.
really abused, and they cut her ears with scissors. I mean, it's just awful. And when we first brought her in, the two females got along fine. The other three are boys, right? The two girls got along just fine. And 3 months into it, I'm not sure what happened, but you know Violet started attacking Layla, and then
I remember
I
that.
could feel the fear. And then the grandkids were here, and you could just went because of I feel like the energy we were putting off, she made her even more protective. So we ended up going
Mhm.
to take her back to the rescue that we got Violet from, and um we still have Layla. But when they're hooked up and you're trying to pull them apart, I remember telling Chuck, stick your finger in her butt, stick your finger in her butt. And he's like, what? And I said, stick your finger in her butt. And that she'll let go. And that's, somebody told me that. My friend Tara told me that. Tara Stone told me that. Stick her finger in her butt because she had the same incident with her three pit bulls, and they attacked the older one and killed the older one. The younger
Oh
two
my.
killed the older one. So it's really weird, but they also respond to your energy. And when you got
Right.
fear in there, then that just fuels the aggression. It's so crazy because they're both awesome dogs. They're both dominant females. And there
Hmm.
was that plus, I'm the one I'm her person. And so,
Right.
that can cause conflict. So you got to stay on top of that kind of stuff. But also, sometimes you got to put your hands up and just say, "Nah, this is not going to work."
I've always been seriously, if something with fur walks in the door, it does not walk out. So I'm a foster fail all the time. I ended up with a beautiful rag doll. I don't know if you know what that is. It was a rescue. I actually saw it on one of the websites, and the guy was like, we're in the military, gotta move, come get this cat. And knocked on the door, and seriously, he went like this. And I said, well, can I see how she does and how she's interacting with the other cats and whatever? And so I did that, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, she was stunningly beautiful. Brought her home, and Chloe is the only cat that my husband has picked out. We had lost Kobe, and it was a gray cat. So he says, I need another gray kitten. I need another gray kitten. I was like, ugh. So we go and we get Chloe. He picked Chloe out. Well,
Hmm.
Chloe was stalking Delilah, and that was the ragdoll's name. If Delilah was like asleep down here under my desk, she'd be sitting right here just staring at her. And
Psycho.
it was like creepy as hell. So I ended up Delilah, because I told my husband, I said, Chloe, you gotta go. And he goes, no, she was here first. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because Delilah and I were buds. I mean, she really was my bud. But anyway, she ended up with a good family. She's the queen. She's the only one. But so that's why it was so hard when I brought Mama, the teenager, in, and she had the four
Hmm.
kittens. Oh
Yeah.
my God, the day that I took the kittens to be adopted, it broke my heart because I had bottle fed them, from like 3 days old. So
Yeah.
that was really hard. But Mary, I'm not asking for people to love and care and go to the extreme that I go to with animals. You don't have
Absolutely.
to, but you just have to respect them. That's all. Just respect them. And,
They're not
unfortunately,
trash. They're
no,
not
they're
trash.
not disposable.
No.
And what are you teaching your kids? You know how many times I go to the shelter to drop off, towels or pick up cats or whatever, and I see families, come on, let's take, Sparky. We're going to drop him off. He's going to go to a new home. What are you teaching your kids?
Yeah,
that
I
animals,
really try to teach them because how to approach an animal. You don't come at them with your hand over your head. You come at them with your hand extended outward because this, a lot of them have been abused and they think you're going to
sure.
hit them. So I always tell them and then always ask the people that have the animal, can you pet the animal? Don't just walk up
Mhm.
there and, welcome yourself or whatever. But mainly the way you approach an animal with your hand underneath open, extended out. So it's important that you teach your kids that kind of stuff.
Because the Huskies, especially the big one, he looks like a big stuffed animal. I get people all the time, oh, your dogs are so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I have people on the big highway stopping to take pictures of them. Can I take pictures with your dog? Yeah, you
Oh,
can. But like if kids are coming towards me, I'll yell to the parents, stop your child. Well, he just wants to pet I look at the child, I'll say, ask your mom if you can pet one of my huskies. And there's one, he's so cute. His name is Sage. I met him when he was 4, and now he's like, oh, he's 7 now. He goes like this, I'm
uh,
7.
Jimmy 7, 6, 7.
Yeah. And I tell him every time, I say, ask dad. He goes, but I just did it last time, Mr. No, ask him. You never know. Because, like for example, one day he was on his way to school and he had on black pants. I said, bad idea. To touch the husky is bad idea. But and it's he's so funny. He doesn't yell out the window, hello, Miss Teresa. He goes, hello, huskies. It's so cute. But I agree with you. We need to treat animals with the respect that they deserve, and not just, you know, um, dogs and cats, but the possums. People are killing possums. Do you know that they eat ticks?
I
Possums
did
eat
not
ticks.
know that, but I know they're
Yes.
very ugly. And I have a possum story when I lived in Corpus Christi, where
Okay.
whenever I had two pugs and a Boston Terrier, and I'd let them outside because we lived out in the country. And I remember they have a very distinctive bark when they're barking at something. So it caught my attention. So I go outside and I look on, they're all standing around underneath the picnic table. And they have this something surrounded under the picnic table. And I go down there and it was a possum. And I was like, oh shit, I better go get my gun, kind of deal. And I come back and one of my Boston's got a hold of it and shook it and then let it go. And I forgot that those animals will play dead. So
Yeah,
I
they
come up
they
and
really
I
will.
I took my camera and I squatted down and I was taking a picture of it and I saw his little thing, do this and I remembered, oh yeah, they play dead and it came up and it bit me. So I had to get put on some antibiotics and yeah, it was not cool. But yeah, those possums, they ugly. They be ugly.
Yeah, they're not the cutest. One of my cats, I guess it was they were they were trying to show me how much they love me, but we have a field a couple houses
Oh, they
down.
bring you stuff.
Yes. And they brought me a rat with these two like
Oh,
big, huge teeth,
oh
and
no.
and left it on the front mat. And I could
Ah.
tell which one left it because he was like, you love it. I know you love it. You're welcome. Because I was like, oh, thank you so much. And you could tell they were like, you're welcome. I was like, oh, Lord. I
Do
had
they eat
my
bugs? Do they eat bugs? Your
cats.
dogs?
Yeah,
Bugs.
no, no, they don't eat. I know yours eat the palmetto bugs and
The
stuff.
palmetto bugs and the cicadas are coming out. And so
Mhm.
Layla, she'll munch down on a cicada and eat it. But when she gets to the palmetto bugs, which are those big giant flying roaches, basically,
Right.
she'll just kill it and then spit it out. I'm like,
Mm.
oh, that's so nasty.
When I lived in St. Thomas, I had 26 iguanas that lived in the trees around the marshes. And
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it was
Are they
very
were they
cool.
all green or did you have any of those orange ones?
All green.
Uh,
And the deal was the dogs were not allowed to touch the iguanas because they would eat the iguanas. And I remember Jake, he was a pit bull Dalmatian. He was absolutely one of the cutest dogs in the world. And one day he's like, hey, mom. And I'm like, let me see your face. He had a tail hanging out. And I
oh.
went, what's in your mouth? Nothing. I'm good. "Oh, what's in your mouth? Open your mouth." And he was like, no, it's mine. I said, drop it. He dropped it, and this big, baby, big baby iguana goes running off. And he was just carrying it around. It was cute, but I couldn't let them, eat the iguanas. But they love to do
Darwin
that.
and Freddie are rat killers. They,
Oh,
because you get those, sometimes the rats
isn't
come
that what
running
they're
across
bred
the.
for, though? What are your dogs bred for?
Well, they're useless. I know. I don't really know what. I know they had a purpose in Europe somewhere, but I don't remember exactly what it was.
Hmm.
But I want to say the Frenchie was for something hunting or whatever. But he's about as useless as can be. But
Something
the
about
rat.
their ears, though. Something that's something.
I don't know. I don't know.
Mm.
But
If any
the
of our
the
listeners know the answer, just
yeah.
drop us an email or put it on our Facebook page or something because we don't want to Google it. We just want to do this grassroots.
Yeah, yeah. So, you'd have those occasional rats come by the back across the fence. You see them run by and they're just ghetto rats and, their hair's all tufted up and because who knows what but they're pretty good size, so they must be eating good. So I was making my pepper garden and I was sitting there and I had my dog Rainy with me. And I look up I have like a retaining wall, and there's one of those rats was right there on that retaining wall. So I like reached around, I grabbed a rock and I threw it at it and I hit him right in the ear and it went taking off. And then I didn't really think much about it. So about 4 or 5 hours later, I was finished making my pepper garden. I was sitting having a glass of wine on this side of the pool, on the opposite side. And I look up and I see my dog Rainy nose to nose with this rat. And somebody was like, "Oh, that rat. The only reason that rat is standing there and letting your dog smell is because they have rabies." I said, "No, that rat has a closed head injury from that rock I nailed it
That
with
rat
earlier."
has
And
brain damage.
I went walking around there and I threw another rock at it, and it was Freddie, my Boston Terrier, that went after that rat and took it and sort of shaking the shit out of it. So, yeah, they killed that rat, and then I threw it over the fence, and I didn't know anybody was in the backyard there. And I hear these kids, "Grandpa, Grandpa, a rat fell out of the tree." And I was like, "Oh my God." And Chuck's like, "Why did you throw that over the tree?" And I was like, "I didn't want my dogs to eat it." So, yeah,
Right,
that's my,
right.
but yeah,
Well,
they,
to everybody that's listening to this, I would love to know what kind of animals you have. So if you follow us on TikTok, YouTube,
yeah, send
Instagram,
pictures.
yeah, send pictures. Let us know what it's all about because, I believe in having animals. I'm like Mary. If I'm having a bad day, those animals, I have to get up. I have to take care of them. They're looking to me for their food, their water, their walking. I have a very injured back. And everybody said, "Oh, I know you want to get a dog, but just get a dog that's going to pile up on the couch with you and watch, Jerry Springer and eat bonbons." And I was like, "No, I want something that's going to make me walk." So
Get
we
up.
walk
Mhm.
sometimes 3 or 4 miles twice a day.
That's
And,
good. That's good for your back.
it is good. Unfortunately, with all the knee replacements and bionicness we got in here, every now and then Hachi will start limping. But of course, just like a person, they're going to develop arthritis down the
Yeah.
road. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I so agree with you, Mary. I mean, rescue is the best breed. I completely agree. There's this chick, she's on that Nextdoor app, and she says,
Yeah.
"I have a Maltipoo and I want to breed her one or two more times." First off, AKC does not recognize a Maltipoo as a recognized breed. Okay, that's first. Second, do you know how many Maltipoos there are in the shelters right now?
A
And
bunch,
she got
probably.
blasted. She got absolutely blasted because
Oh, I'm sure.
she was looking for the answer, to make money. Every time I walk, my dogs are like, "Is that a male?" Because my Hachi, he's the biggest husky. I'm like, "Yep." "Oh, is that a female?" "Yep." And we're not having puppies because they're both neutered and spayed. They're both fixed. And they go,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah, they're mixing everything nowadays. Have you
yeah."
seen the Frenchton? It's a French. It's got long hair. It's a Frenchie with long hair. It's a Boston Terrier Frenchie mix, or I don't know, a Frenchton is what it's called.
which is sad to me, that they're doing that. I had this guy a couple streets over, and we were walking, and he had his husky on the other side of the street, and I had mine. And it was a summer afternoon, and he had this dog in a damn onesie. This is a husky, okay?
Okay,
They
guilty, guilty.
And that's fine though, but your dogs are short hair. This is a husky. They come with
Oh
their
no,
fur coat.
we would shave Sasha. We would shave her
Oh,
in the
oh,
summertime.
oh. Yeah. And he even said he had shaved his, and I was like, oh my God, because you shave a husky, their skin is very sensitive. It can get
Mm.
burned or whatever. Plus they have that
That's
undercoat
how they
that
cool themselves
that
with their
actually
fur.
does cool them. And he said, oh, I would love to breed these two. And I'm saying under my breath, first off, I would never let mine breed with a dog that wears a onesie, for God's sake.
Hey now.
It looked, first off, it looked ridiculous. I mean, it really did.
Well,
And you could almost see it in her face because she was like this, instead of
like she
because
was scared to walk.
my huskies walk and they're like so proud, especially when I put like for
Mine wear hoodies in the wintertime. I have
that's
them in
so cute
hoodies.
though. That's cute. Well, like for the holidays, I make them these elastic big collars that they wear, different colors. And
Like a
that
Christmas package.
yes, they feel, you can tell that they feel really special when they have it on because they kind of walk a little bit, kind of like a person in a shirt that they really like, they're like out there
Yeah.
strutting, and I don't know how many of pictures of my dogs ended up on people's Christmas cards because they're like, can I bring my 2-year-old back and get pictures with your dogs next week? Yeah, of course you
Aww.
can. Yeah, it was adorable. It was so cute. So cute.
Freddie Mercury has a leopard coat and it's got a little brooch on it that's a queen's crown. And my friend Shauna gave it to Freddie Mercury because I mean he prances around. He is definitely Freddie Mercury, and so that's my little Boston Terrier, and I put that little coat on him because he's always. In the wintertime, he's always so cold because they're short haired, right? And yeah, I put that little coat on it. He looks so funny in it. He's definitely a queen.
Well, I don't know about you, but here in Sacramento, it's been triple digits for like
Yeah.
4 days. We're actually having a cold spell today. It's only going to be 96.
Mm.
But my huskies, we didn't get to walk last night. It was 97
Yeah, I haven't
degrees
walked
at 7
mine.
o'clock last night. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Too
Remember,
hot.
you were talking about the dust storm
Yeah.
the other day? I need to find it and send it to you. There's a video at Phoenix
They call it a
Airport,
haboob. Isn't that what they call it? A haboob?
something like that, I think.
Yeah. I don't
That
know.
sounds familiar. But
Chuck
anyway,
used to tell me it's a haboob. I'm like, what is that?
this video is taken at Phoenix Airport, and you can see, and they're like, it's a dust storm, and it just came in over the planes and
Mhm.
everything.
It came in. We were in Albuquerque and we were in the hotel. And when we came out to go eat, I was like an orange hue through.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck is this? I think this might be a dust storm kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. Agreed. Completely agreed.
Thank you.
So yeah, the weather is just the Huskies aren't liking it too much. We go out
Yeah,
early
it's
in the
hot
morning.
here
We
too.
we try to go
I can hear Layla
yeah.
because if somebody's mowing the grass, she's up and down the fence line,
Oh,
up and down. She can't stand it.
right, right.
I have to really stay on top of her because she can get sick.
Yeah, of course. Well, luckily, there's 5 Huskies on my street. You'll see my street. There's 10 houses. There's 5 Huskies. I have two houses down is two, and across the street is one. And you never hear any of them ever.
Oh, wow.
But next to us is a German Shepherd. Let's just say that they don't necessarily get the time and attention that ours do. I'm just going to say it like that. I'm going to be
Mhm.
politically
So they
correct.
bark, 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 bark.
Oh my God. Bark and whine all the time. And I
No,
feel
that's no
so
bueno.
bad for her.
That's
You
no
know,
good.
I'm always like throwing bones over the fence, and I'll let them know. I'll say, I have treats for Lily, and I throw it over the fence, and I just feel bad. But so many people are like, "We heard your dogs yesterday." And I was like, "Oh, not my dogs, not
Nope.
mine. Nope,
Nope.
nope." So, but again, you don't have to love them like Mary and I do, but just please respect them. One of my favorite quotes, and it's a sad quote because we're woefully. We're, let me tell you the quote. The greatness of a nation is judged by its treatment of animals.
Mhm. I've
Gandhi
heard that.
said that. Gandhi,
I've heard
who
that.
is probably one of the most peaceful and respectful, kind, genuine people. And the US, we fail miserably. We really do. We fail horribly. There's countries that are inferior, I'm using air quotes again, that are supposed to be inferior to us, and they take better care of their stray animals than we do. And
Yeah.
that's just sad.
Yeah.
Like elephants, the big gorgeous elephants in some countries are revered, but in other countries are chained for their whole entire life.
Yeah.
It
No,
just it just makes me sad.
it's
Makes me sad.
cruel. I like the one that says, let me be the person my dog thinks I am.
Hmm. I love that. And another one, let me get this straight. My animals are just a part of my world, but to them, I am their whole
Their
world.
world. Yep. I've
Yes.
seen that one on a t-shirt the other day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cool. It's cool. So, wow. I wish we could say that we had solved animal issues, but I hope that anybody that's watching this, again, you don't have to love them like we do. Just please support them and respect them and help people like me. I'm a grassroots rescuer. I pay for everything myself. Unless somebody drops off a bag of food or some cans
Hmm.
at the
Hmm.
door, I pay for everything. Pay for the gas in
Absolutely.
my car to transport cats and dogs, and it's
That is
tough.
an animal lover for sure. And
Yeah.
and that brings us to our warrior challenge for today. Are we ready for that?
I
So our
love the
war
warrior
I
challenge.
know, I love that name that you gave it. So I was just doing the call to action. You're like, warrior challenge. Okay, so this is going to be our warrior challenge for today. So we'd like for you to consider adoption or rescuing, volunteering, fostering for your our fur babies. Maybe donate dog food to your rescue groups or your shelters or whomever. Whoa, that was almost my light. Sorry.
She
Um,
got so excited, guys. She just knocking lights over and shit.
dog food to your local shelter. Step up. If you can adopt one, adopt one. Don't puppy shop. Don't puppy shop. You can find puppies at the shelter, at the Humane Society, whatever. But there are loving dogs out there that have had a rough start in life, like my three, and every one that I've had before that, for that matter, that I made a difference in their world and they made a difference in mine. Sometimes I used to say that Wiley saved my life, but really, honestly, I think that he saved mine. I saved his, but honestly, I think he saved me.
Well, have you ever seen that thing on the back of the Jeeps or trucks or cars? Who rescued who?
Right.
And I remember when I first got Akira, she's my female, she was just shy of a year old. And it's interesting. I went to the rescue to meet her brother. I'd seen her brother online. His name was Roscoe. I'll never forget. He was so cute. And I
Oh,
told the lady, I said, I'm here to see Roscoe. I got so excited. And I stood there, and Roscoe ran to everyone but me, played with everyone but me, and you could see me like which is unheard of because usually dogs
ejected.
love, yeah, usually
The
dogs love
animal
me.
doesn't like me.
I know, right? So she goes,
That's a
well, you might.
blow. That's a
It
blow.
was. I was like, you little.
Shit.
I drove an hour to see you. So she said, do you want to meet his sister? And I was like, okay.
Uh,
She let Akira out. Akira ran and sat down right, I mean, seriously, right next to
she
me. And I
picked
went,
you.
okay. Yeah, I said, she chose me. And
Yep.
she has been my baby girl since. And then a year later, I told my husband, I said, Saturday, we're going to go get Hachi. And he's like, who the hell is Hachi? Well, Akira means bright and beautiful in Japanese. And I love kanjis. I have kanjis all over the
Yeah.
place. And Hachi means eight in Japanese. And at the time, he was my eighth fur ball. And so we
Oh,
go and get
oh,
him, and
that's cool.
yeah. So he was 10 weeks old, and he had been badly abused, so badly that his eye fell out and he lost it at 8 weeks old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he had been beaten so badly. So yeah, I honestly, it doesn't take much to help a rescue. If everybody listening to this goes and, donates a bag or a couple cans or
Yeah,
anything.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Wow. Another one. I love talking to you, Mary. It's such a pleasure. And again, if anybody wants to reach out to us, please do Life Warriors official at gmail.com, or please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share this to someone who might, just
Our Facebook page too. Send us your pictures.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Share this with anybody you think would love to sit around the table and have some coffee with us. So
Absolutely.
it was definitely a pleasure. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you. We'll see you real soon. Real soon. In the meantime, be you, be kind, and be happy. Bye.